Hello everyone. Today I'm going to do a follow-up video on the fuse situation that's now being used in the Plaid and just add some information. I hadn't showed the fuse internals for the Plaid yet. So what we have here is one of the original Model S fuses rated at 550 amps. This is more or less a traditional fuse, although, I went over this in my other fuse video. If you haven't seen that, I recommend you watch that first. But this is a basic thermal fuse. It's got small wires inside that once current exceeds a certain value, they melt. So that's off the table. As I went over in the other video, and I don't want to rehash too much, Tesla, as the performance improved in the cars, they found they had a lot of nuisance trips, basically. If you set the fuse low enough to protect the electronics, you end up with fuses that will blow sometimes after repeated hard accelerations, because that's thermal cycling the fuse elements. So the Pyrofuse was, I wouldn't say invented, but they started using the Pyrofuse because they can control the Pyrofuse quite accurately. Anyway, what we're seeing here, this is the unit used in the Model 3. I went over this in the other video, how it works. It's got a pyrotechnic squib here, a small explosive charge, and it blows this apart using, hot gas. And then we have the one that's used in the Plaid. And this is a new one. So the top part here contains the squib with the explosive charge and this piston. So this thing fires down at high velocity once the pyro is deployed. And then we've got this aluminum bus bar, and it's pre-machined with a weak point here, so that when this explosive charge goes off and this piston comes down, it puts pressure on this and also puts pressure right past this thin area using these little plastic fulcrums. So they ride in this groove right here, and as this comes down, it wants to cam these apart and push them out of the way. It's important to get the two halves apart as fast as possible so that any arcing can be eliminated or ameliorated at least. So if it breaks under load, there's damn well going to be an arc. And that's where this comes in. So there's all these little metal blades. Let's see if I can get one out. They're just mild steel blades, and they're gapped in here so that as the hot gas comes out of that explosive charge, it slams the arc into this, which breaks it into lots of little pieces and then also cools it, because this metal is going to act like a heat sink, so it's going to spread the arc and break it into pieces and cool it. And then that hot gas folds around the back side of this, goes through a filter, and then comes out the top so that the pressure can be released. Otherwise, this housing would blow apart. And they want the gas to flow that way because it's carrying the arc out. This is a real piece of engineering. It may look simple when you see it, but a lot of thought went into this. I'm sure they had many revisions and lots of testing. The cool thing about this, which I covered in the other video, is they can tailor the trip response. Let me show you how that works. I don't think I covered it in too much detail. Put this back together. So inside Model 3, Y, and the Plaid, and new SX, you see this thing. This is the BMS Master. It's the high voltage protection, BMS brains and sensing. This is where it connects to the car. So in the Model 3 and Y, you'll find this under the back seat. This is in the connector on the passenger side that connects to the rest of the car. There's a metal cover covering this that attaches here. In the Plaid, they put it in the pack, but not in the same place. Anyway, they use the exact same unit that was used in the 3 and Y in the Plaid. Inside that case is the circuit board. I think I've covered it before, but this is what's inside there. We've got power supply here, which is independent of the 12 volts coming in from the vehicle. So this can take high voltage from the battery and make its own internal power, so that even in the event of a total failure of the 12 volt system, this thing can remain powered up. And there's a current shunt similar to this one that's in the middle of the battery, so monitoring all current in and out of the battery. And this is just a calibrated resistor, basically. It looks like they laser tune this or whatever, so that there's a certain voltage drop across that. This little circuit board amplifies it and sends it into the BMS here, where there's a galvanic isolator, and then it goes into the circuitry. The circuitry goes into the microcontroller so that it can monitor current very closely for the purpose of the battery management. So it basically does a thing called Coulomb counting, where you're monitoring the current in and out to a fine degree, so you can calculate the remaining capacity in the battery. It also has software trip thresholds that they can program in the software, so that if they see the current profile is behaving like a short circuit, they can trigger the pyro. The pyro is triggered from this circuit. It says pyro loop here. There's a galvanic isolator and then some transistors to drive it. But basically, this can be triggered by the software, and I believe they have a hardware trip too that's independent of the software. So even if the firmware completely crashes, hardware can still blow the pyro if it exceeds a certain value. And I believe it's much faster than any thermal fuse, and can respond very fast. So first of all, you're not going to get nuisance trips, because there won't be a threshold that you're having to maintain that's really rough based on melting wires and a fuse. And secondly, if it does exceed the current, so like if you were to somehow hack the performance of the motors and cause them to draw more current than the BMS is saying you can draw, it can just blow the pyro and then cut you off. But that also can protect the inverter. If the inverter goes crazy and does something that draws too much current, it can blow the pyro, thus protecting the inverter and the rest of the car. So that's how the protection system works. I may do a more thorough video on the battery management system if people want to hear about it. But I just really wanted to, discuss this new piece of engineering. These are, I think they're about $30 or so from Tesla, maybe a little more. And if the car gets into an accident, the airbag controller, it's called the RCM, restraint control module, sends a signal to the BMS, which tells it to trip the pyro, so that there's no high voltage. If the car is going to be in an accident, high voltage wires could be sliced or whatever, and they just don't want any high voltages present in the vehicle after that. So that will blow this. So therefore, if you have any airbag deployment, you'll have to replace this. Luckily, it's really easy to do. There's a little trap door on the bottom of the pack. So you just lift the car in the air, and you can open that cover and take this out and replace it. That's all I have for you today. If you like this, please like it. A thumbs up is appreciated. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I've got more videos coming. And I also have a link in my channel's About page if you'd like to support me financially so I can do more videos. All right, everyone, take care.